office, but I wanted to talk about subjective news. So currently, I'll tell you what I'm doing right now. It's a fishing trip, 4-day fishing trip with a bunch of guys. There's about 30 gentlemen. We're here in some part of Oklahoma at a very, very large cabin. It's a mansion. It can probably house about 30 people. We do this every year. They've been doing it for quite a longer time than me, but it's just a real atmosphere to bond with other men and network and activities, a fishing tournament as well as a golf tournament, and then also other games, board games of that nature. But really, when we look at the current climate of the political space, so I want you guys to look at this very quickly. So I can spin this around. So you see how you have the lake, the basin line here, and the shore. Then you have what seems to be like a rolling mountain, but this is a hill. Then you have another ridge line here. All of that people will look at very differently because of the perspective, the trajectory, and the angle in which they're watching it. Everything is subjective of what you hear, see, if you don't witness it for yourself and interpret it for yourself. So anytime that I give the news, I try to give it from a very neutral perspective. And anytime I believe I'm injecting any conjecture, bias, or I'm leaning one way or another, I tend to expose that because news should be very objective rather subjective. And depending on what party or what news agency is being funded by a corporate or NGO or some sort of private business, because of the political gains that they can get from that, the political attention. So I would like to just tell everyone, look at all news very objectively and not subjectively, because that is in which the matter that they give you guys the news. I see you, DSB. Hey, Volvo. So the news is giving great and giving perspective about the news is giving great. It doesn't matter if you look at people that you always agree with, people that you're neutral with, or even disagree with. You should always look at the news very objectively, and not in the perspective that they want you to look at the news and actually understand what they're saying. Because they will like to have people always in political parties so they can predict what people are going to do instead of just having free citizens of the United States of America and not pick any political side. And again, just give you the different ideologies of both political sides in an A and B format. No political party, no political figure face on the policies, and have the American people vote on policies versus people. Because as we see, President Trump is very unpopular now, but prior to then he was very popular. And then he have had a lot of people to even opt out of. He's had a lot of people to opt out of President, the 47th President of the United States of America. And then a couple of months later, everybody's hating what he said he was going to do. No one knew what he was going to do and how he was going to do it, but he told the American people, when I get in office, these are the things I aim to do. But now we have even Republicans coming out and stating that, oh, well, I know what he's trying to do, but this is not the way that we envision him doing it. Well, you're dealing with President Trump. You already have 4 years of him. What did you expect? For it to be better? And so that's the way I kind of look at it. And when people lean right, that conversation will be in more support of Trump. But I'm looking at it very unbiasedly, because now both political parties are not agreeing to what they believe President Trump was going to do. And so they speak in manners of giving you guys the news and information from a subjective standpoint that have you confused about how you should go about viewing a political figure like President Trump. In some regards, I believe it can be very complex, because some people say, oh, that's poppycock, that's just crazy talk. They're not doing that initially. Well, we have many statistics and reports. People have done specials of how the government with mass news media has been pushing propaganda on the public for since the dawn of news. Okay, they've been pushing propaganda on the citizens for a very long time. And so that's why you need to challenge and test everything that you intake, because again, anybody, even the people you follow and like, could be lying to you. So that's all I had to say. You guys have a great, wonderful day.